cleared off the boards, and it's banked out past the defenseman Kosher. A breakaway opportunity. Braxton Whitehead all alone. Score! Braxton Whitehead with a shorthanded goal. And here's Aremba back to 5-on-5 hockey for Armstrong. Right side, centered in front. Score! Sam Aremba with his fourth for the season. Well, his brother Tristan looks happy in the stands. In over the blue line, soon to left, nice little move in the slot, feeds it in front, Brown fires, scores! Tanner Brown ends it in overtime.
Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast, with your hosts Chris Clark and Kevin Shaw. All right, it's episode 123, January 2nd. We just finished watching the Connor Bedard show, as we're accustomed to. But I think that took us over the top, I think, maybe, wasn't it?
The tournament so far, yes. But that overtime performance, pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get to that. Well, you are here for maybe to listen to Pat's talk. It hasn't been a great week. We'll touch on Team Canada and Bedard later. But, yeah, this week for the Pats, it was a rough one. They come out of the break and kind of lay an egg at home. Literally an egg, a donut, against Brandon. I mean, it's just a boring game. Like there was nothing going on. There was no jump.
So uninspiring.
Yeah. It was almost like
I wanted to change the channel. If I was watching TV, I would have probably changed the channel for a few minutes. Then
right.
Probably changed it back just to see how everything was, but it was not a good game. It was boring as heck.
You always seen them trail off right before the Christmas break, and you're like, okay, they're just thinking about the Christmas break. Well, did they forget that they're playing again? And they kind of got, still sleeping. They're not back into it. But, yeah.
Well, you can kind of blame, I don't know, excuses, right? But Sim got in late, Berg got in late, Ken Schneider, assistant coach, got in just before the game.
6:10.
Real late. just before the game even started. So I guess that could be it. But Brandon probably had their own issues. Like their play-by-play guy was stuck with Dante in Toronto the day before the game or 2 days before the game. So
yeah,
they probably had their own issues all around. But it was such a boring, uninspired game. I can't get over it.
Yeah, it just nothing. Like the power play isn't looking good, obviously, right? They had nothing going on at all that game, and and then I guess we'll just move right on into PA. I mean,
well, something happened in that game. The Bash brother Jackson Vaughn cranked. What's his name? What was the guy's name? Malavkin, their number 44, Brandon's number 44.
Yeah, Andre.
Yeah, hit him and probably checked him in the head. They didn't really show a replay that close. They didn't show the replay. I didn't look for the replay, but the guy he helicoptered pretty good, and he ended up with a 5-minute major for checking to the head. And he's suspended to be determined still. So
yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because on the replay, if you go back and watch WHL Live on the replay, there's a reverse angle from the other side of the ice. And yeah, he hits him in the head pretty good. It's unfortunate because he was going in for the hit, and then the guy he bends over and reaches as Vaughn is committing to the hit and hits him in the head. And yeah, like you said, helicopters him. So I'm not surprised. It's obviously it's TBD right now. Obviously, nothing happened over the long weekend here, but I'm sure we'll hear something Tuesday morning or Tuesday probably about it. And yeah, it's unfortunate. He's going to get suspended, or he's already missed 2 games.
He's missed 2 games, so yeah.
So he might miss more, he might not, who knows? But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I totally forgot about that. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. So then PA, I mean, they come out. I didn't see the first period, but I mean, 3 goals. All right, boom, they're rolling. But then I caught a bit of the second, caught a bit of the third, most of the third, and it was just like they were just hanging on.
They were hanging on for dear life and almost didn't hang on hard enough.
I know they take a penalty in overtime. Who was it here? What happened? Howe.
Tanner Howe.
hooking penalty. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, here we go. They're gonna blow it, but they get it done. Just I think maybe a bad line change or something, and Brown just gets set up. He walks right in the slot and boom, finishes it. So that was a nice, comeback after blowing it to finish it off.
Yeah, they staved off. they got the win. That's all that mattered for that game.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So going back, Armstrong. What a nice goal, man! He's scored a few nice goals this year. That was a real nice shot. And then,
he's got a wicked shot. He needs to shoot more.
Yeah, definitely. I think he almost deserves some time up on that first line. Like when they switch around the lines and stuff. I think he deserves that. Like he's really played well this year. I thought. I mean, I know John hasn't. There was the game in PA maybe last time, or no, it was a Moose Jaw game. He's like. He didn't want to call him out, but he said there was a lot of guys, and Armstrong was one of them, that their game was not real good there before Christmas. And but he says when he's on, he's on. Like he needs more consistency there.
Yeah, he had 6 goals all of last year in 57 games. So far this year, he's got 13 and 37.
Yeah,
marked improvement, and it's what you expect from a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's getting more and more ice time, but with Bedard and Svozil gone, all the lines, all the defensive pairings are all over the place. Like doesn't seem like there's any consistency.
No, especially when they're struggling as a team, right?
Yeah, they're trying to find some sort of combination that works, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, all over the place. So
yeah. And then the
Vallis, it was a nice goal.
Yeah. And then the Val's goal, they're on the power play, and PA is has taken a penalty, and the delayed penalty, and I don't know who it was, but somebody shot it right at the PA guy and it bounced off his skate.
Tanner Brown.
Okay.
Brown just tried to dump it in or dump it at the guy,
and he didn't touch it, and Borre Valls picks it up and he's like, "Well, I'll just shoot and score."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't think I've seen that before, like that kind of play.
Like everybody was standing
around and just shot it. Goal's a goal.
Yeah, goal's a goal, right? And Svozil picks one up on the power play in that first period as well. You get a couple ones late, and then it was ugly to see that 3-0 lead go to waste, but I mean they got it done. Like you said, a win is a win, especially right now.
And PA's third goal was an unfortunate bounce. Everybody was looking one way, and Ludwig, I think it was, grabbed it and wide open on the left side. It's like you can't do anything about that kind of goal. But
Sim was looking the wrong way because it looked like the puck
should have on that.
Yeah, the puck should have went that way, but whatever happened, it came back to the short side.
Took a weird carom in the behind the net, and it was in the net.
Yeah,
but Brown saved it. Save their bacon.
Yeah,
in overtime.
Right?
So
because you think, okay, PA, we gotta win this game, right? Especially up 3-0. You think you can hopefully win both of these PA games, but
it had a little bit of controversy with the line change at the end. PA was arguing the fact that Brown was able to score. I don't know. They didn't show a real replay of everything that was going on, just up close. So their captain ended up with a game misconduct at the end of the game, or a 10-minute misconduct at the end of the game.
Yeah, with the officials. See, there was a lot of arguing there at the end.
And someone threw some glasses on the ice, and Armstrong was trying to put them on. There's a couple pictures online, which is kind of funny.
Some glasses.
If you have a chance to find it, look it up. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there because Brown. There was only 2 guys, in the picture for PA, and then Brown comes in and whoever sets him up there, whoever it was, just dropped the pass. Svozil just left it for him, and Brown skates in and right in the slot and just wires it. So, yeah, that was nice to see. So you think, okay, they've got they get a win, and then you roll into Regina with PA coming to town on the back-to-back, or the home and home, and it was just nothing from Regina. It was just the Brandon game all over again, it seemed.
It felt exactly the same. No life. Nothing. Both teams, there was no real life.
Yeah.
And then PA started to score.
Well, they started pretty early. 6-minutes in, they get one. And then they get another one in the first, and then one early in the second, and then right after they get that third goal, the Ritchie goal, pass take a penalty, and it's like, oh my god, they're gonna score 4 here, and then the fourth one. But Whitehead makes a nice play, and he makes a beautiful move and scores only his 3rd goal of the season. I mean, we were just talking about him before we came on here, and he says we talked to him after the game, and I asked him, what have you thought of your game as a whole, despite only scoring 3 goals this season? He's like, safe. He said almost too safe, maybe. And so I was thinking, well, maybe now he's wearing an A. He's got more added responsibility. Maybe he's just trying to be playing the right way and maybe not take chances and play more responsibly defensively, and maybe that's affecting his offensive game, because he had 10 goals last year, was it not? Like, so, and to only have 3 this year, he had 10 last year in 58 games, so he's got skill there, right? And you see it on that play on the deke and everything, and so maybe with that added responsibility, wearing a letter, being relied upon, in the defensive zone and stuff like that, it's maybe taken away from his offensive game.
He's definitely got the upside. It's just, I don't know. He came into the season with an injury, did he not? Didn't he have like an appendix injury issue or whatever?
Yeah. So he missed camp.
Maybe that has affected stuff too. Like it's slowly progressed. I don't know. Like,
yeah, that too.
It's just a speculation on my behalf, but he's, I don't know, underperformed. I think what they were expecting more of him.
Yeah.
And hopefully this goal will get him on the right track, because I'd like to see him score some goals, because I do like him. I think he's got some talent.
Yeah.
But he needs to get going, because they need more scoring from their depth. They keep on getting most of their goals from the top tier, the top end guys. And with Bedard and Svozil gone, there's not much else going on.
Yeah, like he, March and into April, he had 2, 4, 5, 6 of his 10 goals were from March 2nd and on, the last 2 months of the season. It's a month and a half. So how many ever games that is? So he's really coming on strong there at the end of the season, and you think, okay, he's going to continue that on this season and hopefully have a good start. But unfortunately, he hasn't. And so hopefully this gets him going. And you look at the other goal scorer in that game, Oremba, right? And that's another guy we've talked about. He needs to kind of get going. Like, he's got 4 this year, and they need, like you said, they need that depth scoring. I mean, it's only going to be 1 or 2 more games that Bedard and Svozil are gone, but you still need them to contribute even when they're back.
You definitely need the depth scoring. So it would be nice to get them going. We talked about this on the last episode. We were talking about the depth and the lack of goal scoring behind the top 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to get more consistency and get them all going, because it's looking like, the deadline's coming up, and it's probably looking like, well, it's not probably looking, I'm sure they're not going to be trading 98, so
yeah,
they need to build a little bit more around him still.
Yeah, definitely. And Rob asked John about it after the PA game. He said, do you kind of have an idea what your plan is to buy and or sell? And John's, I mean, he's not going to give away any state secrets or anything, but he's like, right now I'm not even sure, he said. So, I mean, I'm sure he's sure of what is going on, obviously, but he didn't really have anything to give us, which is totally understandable. So,
but I could just imagine the prices if he wants to bring someone in. The prices are pretty insane already for some of the players that have been traded around the league. And now that they know that they're saying that they're going to keep Bedard, which I'm guessing they're going to keep him. But I don't know what teams are going to be asking. Like, some of the teams that were like way out, like Victoria, they've added some pieces. Like, you expect them to maybe move some guys, but now they're bringing in an import, and they've added a couple more guys. It's like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7 points out. They're 7 points behind Kelowna for the last playoff spot in the West. Kelowna's got 3 games in hand on them. But yeah, it's, like we said, there's only 6 teams that don't make the playoffs. So it's tough to, find a true seller. Like obviously we said
other than Edmonton.
Edmonton, PA, and and Victoria's already traded some guys. So and Spokane has. Them and Winnipeg have made a couple deals already. So what's left out there, like you said, at a reasonable rate to pick up without just overpaying for something that's, that you're not a 20 or a 19 or, somebody that's not going to be here for very long.
Yeah.
But, and like we said, they've already made some deals, but for younger guys. So like how many more younger guys can you bring in for this year that's going to help you? Like you need to see some older guys, right? If they really want to make a push here.
Yeah, some veteran presence, maybe another veteran on the defense, because the defense has been kind of leaky this last little bit. I don't know, this last few years even, that hasn't been their strong point.
Yeah, and then you look at, we were discussing this at the game, the defense is going to be, is going to be real thin next year.
It's going to be decimated next year.
Right? You lose 3
of the top 4 defensemen.
Well, I'd say your top 3 defensemen.
Yeah,
Bateman, Brown, and Svozil. Those are your top 3 D-man. Like, so you're going to bring back Berg, Feist, and then Herman Plaisir. Those are part-time guys. Like, your number 3 D-man right now is a part-time guy. Right?
Yeah.
I guess
Vaughn is, if he's not suspended.
I know. I guess you could say he's a full-time guy, but I mean he's sat other than suspension as well. But so the defense is really going to be thin next year on experience, right?
Very thin on experience.
So maybe they bring in, I don't know, an 18 or somebody, right? Because I know, not to get too far ahead of things, but you look at your 19s. Sim, Berg, and then Armstrong or Stringer, right? Those are your 4 options. Svozil obviously not going to be here. That's the only other 19. So it's not like they're loaded with 19s that they're going to lose some of these guys. It's the 18-year-old age group that is full, and they may have to deal from that spot, right?
Yeah, for sure. And Stringer came back. He's healthy now, but he's played 5 games and hasn't done very much. He has 1 shot on goal according to WHL.ca in 5 games.
Yeah, and I mean,
I totally get it. He's coming back from a pretty devastating injury.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
An Achilles injury, but
he's getting his opportunities. Like he's getting chances on that top line.
Yeah,
like I said,
in 5 games.
Like I said, I'd rather see Armstrong shuffled up there when they change up the lines, because it's been how Suzilev and Vallis, kind of start the game this last couple games, and then they moved, I think, Vallis off last game. They moved Vallis off and they brought up Stringer. Well, I'd like to see Armstrong up there, but I'm no coach, right? I mean, Armstrong's producing. He's pretty hot right now. What does he have? 10 points in his last 10 games?
11 in his last 11.
There you go, 11 and 11. So, Stringer's got 1 shot on goal. Armstrong's got 11 and 11. So, I know that's just me, right? But we're just the armchair quarterback, armchair GMs here. But
and lately, I feel sorry for Hal. I don't know what's happened to his game. He's the last 3 games, he's pretty much fell off the radar. He's taken faceoffs and stuff, but he hasn't got a point. Hasn't got a point in the last 3 games. And I don't know if it's the pressure playing center or what it is, but I don't know. I see him face-offs are not super strong.
Well, yeah, they aren't the last 3 games. Before that, they were okay, but I mean, he was right around that 50% mark. Just looking at it here, but the last 3
coming back from this break, I don't know. It's gone way down.
Yeah, definitely.
He's won 16 of his last 53, something like
53,
that.
53. Yep.
Quick math there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the added responsibility of playing center that's, like I said, it might have affected his game or what, but...
Well, you pointed out, like there was one play where he would have been in on the forecheck, but he kind of backed off, right? And there could have maybe been a turnover. It could have been an opportunity there for him, but you're like, well, he's a center now, so he backs off, right? And maybe he's not trusting of the winger, whoever was out with him. If he steps up, somebody's got to drop back, right? He's, like the Braxton Whitehead situation. He's playing maybe too safe, right?
Well, he'll turn it around.
No, for sure.
Turn it around. Even probably before Bedard gets back, they keep against Brandon. He might score a couple goals. Hopefully, he scores a couple goals.
Yeah.
Need him to score a couple goals.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah. So I guess we'll quickly chat about the upcoming games. We got Brandon.
Also, before we go on to that, and the goaltending again.
Yes.
We got Sims starting pretty much every game. Keepers replaced them a couple times lately, and they have Pine still on the roster, sitting on the bench.
Yeah, so they brought Pine up whenever it was, and he backed up, and then he started a game
against Winnipeg.
I know, and then odd decision there, but then coming out of the break here, it's been keeper 3 games straight.
Yeah.
So I wonder what their thoughts are on Pine, and I've been thinking about. I should ask, but I haven't. I don't know if that's a touchy situation to ask about, but I don't know.
It just seems weird to have 3 goalies and not use 3 goalies.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's interesting. So that's another thing to look. Keep an eye on.
Well, I guess Swift Current had 3 goalies around the whole season until the other day when Alexander signed a pro contract and he's off to the AHL, and that was an interesting move. I don't remember seeing that.
So did their young guy, was he around the team then, or
as far as I know, Roca was still around. He was their 3rd goalie.
Okay. Yeah, but I was going to bring that up. Maybe once we're done talking Pats and stuff. That's interesting. I mean, his numbers are decent. He had a 914 save percentage his past 10 games, they said in the release. So he had picked it up, and I mean, Swift Current's maybe underperforming, I think most people would think. But he had a 30 save 4-1 win in Red Deer in his last game on December 17th. So he kind of is a little bit hotter going out. So that's good. That's good for him, though. I mean, everybody, that's the goal of most of these players, sign a contract, play pro, right?
Pro contract, yeah.
Yeah. So good for him. And I mean, that's tough for Swift Current. That's not going to help them.
Roca, they're the one that's going to stick around now. He's played 4 games. He's 3-0 with a 234 goals against average. So save percentage is 893, but his goals against average is 234.
There you go. Now, can he keep that going for the rest of the season?
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
The other goalie, Reed Dick, is 5-10 on the season with a 398 goals against average.
Yeah.
So
I know we looked at their goaltending earlier in the season, and it wasn't, I think up to what the team wanted, especially bringing in Alexander. His numbers weren't great at the start of the season, and that I think the goaltending maybe was an issue for Swift Current and what their record is. Because I was going to bring it up in the standings. They're 5 points back of the Pats, but they've got 5 games in hand, right?
Yeah.
And then Calgary in 6th is 2 points ahead of the Pats, but they've got 4 games in hand.
4 games in hand, yeah.
So, yeah, the Pats are one of the few teams that have played 37 games in the East already. There's 3 teams with 37 games, and that's the most played. There's quite a few teams, obviously a lot fewer than 37, and there's, Swift Current with 32, Calgary with 33, quite a few less. So, but I mean, that helps maybe down the stretch, not as many games packed in here in the back half. So I guess Brandon, I mean, they need to show up for this game. Maybe keeper gets a start and pulls another Brandon beautiful goaltending performance from him that we've seen early in the season. I don't know if that's going to happen, but they need something. They need a win here. At least
they need a spark.
Yeah, right. They need something.
They've lacked a spark. Even in the PA game in PA, the spark really wasn't there.
Yeah, they got some goals and held on, right?
Yeah, I don't know. They need a spark. Maybe a big save. Sim's been really good up until these last 3 games. They're not blaming him. Not blaming him at all. It's just the whole team is just kind of blah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's been blah. Yeah, it's pretty much right.
And
So
it's not exciting. It's not fun. It's not exciting. Maybe because we're used to having 98 and Svozil in the lineup.
yeah,
Maybe
right.
that's the problem.
I mean, they are pretty electric players. Yeah, so you got Brandon, and then Friday, Seattle in town, and you think, well, they're missing, all their guys to World Juniors, but they have not missed a beat. They're 12-0-0-1, 13 game point streak here. So, and their goalie Scott Ratzlaff, he's just stepped in. He hasn't missed a beat when Milic left.
No, not at all. He's unbelievable.
They're quietly tied for the lead in the league, right? With 56 points, they're tied with Winnipeg.
I wouldn't say it's quietly.
I guess, yeah.
They've made some moves.
They're out west,
made
right?
some moves. They're good.
Yeah, they've made noise, right? But you think, okay, Seattle lost 4 guys, the juniors. Have they dropped off? And you look at it, nope, they have not. They're just still rolling along.
But they're a pretty deep team.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They have Sachin still there, or however you pronounce it, and Kronkovic and Lucas Siona. They've got some skill on that team.
No.
Jared Davidson. So
No question.
They've got some skill still.
Yeah. So I don't know if the Pats can pull out. Well, first of all, if Canada loses, or
No, they're not going to lose.
if they lose, are Svozil and Bedard back for that game? Friday night. They lose Wednesday night. Are they back Friday night? You never know. I know. It sounds like Connor wants to play as soon as he can. I mean, if they play Thursday, he's not going to play Friday, obviously. So
Most likely not, but you never know.
you never know. No, that'd be highly unlikely. But
it's not like it used to be where they'd have a week off or whatever,
Yeah.
or 5-6 days off when they come back.
Well, it helps that the tournament's here in Canada, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not in Europe. It would be like him playing on the Sunday, him and Svozil playing on the Sunday after coming back from Europe. I don't know about that, right? That might be that time change. It can be tough.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so Seattle, like you said, they're still deep. Can the Pats pull out what they did last season and beat Edmonton? I think it was the first game after Christmas they beat Edmonton, when Edmonton had all their guys gone to juniors. Well, Bedard was gone too, obviously.
Yeah.
But they squeaked what was like a 6-5, squeaked one out, something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe they can do that against Seattle here. But yeah, like I said, Seattle's deep. They're rolling. That's going to be a tough game, no matter what, who's playing in that game. All right. Yeah. So I guess turn our attention to Team Canada. We haven't really talked about them at all. They've played 5 games, and it was kind of a rough start. Czechia comes out and lays it to him. And like TSN, I don't know. TSN's hyping this team up before they even played an actual game.
That's because they have those NHL guys on the team.
I know. Is this the best team ever? Oh, I know. They just kind of go a little overboard, right? It's just a little overboard, and I can't really stand them. I watch the game. Intermission comes on. I leave the room. I change the channel. I don't listen to them at all. And so, they've got a rough start with Czechia, and the quote from Svozil, I was chirping Bedard every shift out there. Some friendly banter, I'm sure.
With the little smirk on his face.
Yeah. You like to see that. That's awesome. And, so they come out, and Svozil, he's had a really good tournament, man. Like that goal he scored against Canada, he walks in from the point and just fires one, and he's had 3 or 4 beautiful setups, primary assists. He's looked real good, and I mean, it's no surprise. Like, we've seen it all year here. And then,
8 points in 5 games of the tournament. That's pretty good numbers for a defenseman.
Yeah, definitely. He's leading defenseman scoring there. And then Canada goes into the 2 patsies, and they pick up lots of points and goals, and Bedard, does his thing. And I mean, it's kind of, is it surprising? Not surprising? I don't know.
7 points is I don't know if it was really expected. I was expecting like maybe 3 or 4, but not 3 goals, 4 assists, and then following it up with another 6 points the next game. No, that wasn't expected. Not even close. Not even close.
I mean, we figured he's going to pick up some points. We seen him, pick up points last tournament in the summer there. Even in the canceled one, right? He had that 4-goal game, so you knew the potential was there. But this many points, and now he's leading the Canadian record book with career points, career goals, career assists. I mean, and that's the thing.
Single tournament record for points for Canada.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I don't think he'll catch the overall tournament record, 31 points by Mr. Peter Forsberg. That he's 10 short. He's got potentially 2 games left. 2 tough games. I don't think he's going to get 10 points, but you never know.
Never say never.
Yeah,
they were basically writing them off after the first game. He had 1 goal in the first game, and they're like, "Oh God, the Canada team is not. The sky is falling. They're done. They're terrible. Blah blah blah." And yeah,
I mean, you get some confidence playing those guys, those other teams, and then they have a decent game against Sweden, and then you roll into the Slovakia game. Ooh, that was a battle. Like,
Slovakia is a tough physical. They're like an '80s style team.
Yeah.
Cross-check everybody, hit everybody, smash everybody, punches after whistles. It was. I kind of liked the game. I wish they weren't playing Canada there because I'd like to see them in the next round because I like the rough and tumble style. But yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. I think TSN. I think everybody else has pretty much said everything that needs to be said about Bedard, the Bedard show.
Yeah, I mean, just as for the game as a whole, it just seemed like the longer that game went, especially in the third period when it was tied, both teams had great chances. Goalies made saves, D-men made saves, and it was Canada had a couple posts, 2 or 3 in regulation, and then I think they even had a couple in overtime, possibly. And just the longer it went, I was just like, oh, Slovakia's just gonna get 1 chance. They're just gonna have 1 chance, and they're gonna score. And they had that power. Canada had the power play, and it was just like I think they maybe got some momentum with that power play, and then finally they went back to 3-on-3, and Bedard had how many shots just on that shift alone, and then
he had 5 shots in overtime. They said,
yeah.
Okay. And how many did he miss? He missed the net a couple times, I think, too.
There you go. And then finally he's like, I'm just gonna deke everybody, and he dekes the whole team, everybody out there.
Yeah, nice goal.
And wow, what a goal! Like. You can't say anything else. Just like wow, so that's pretty crazy.
Like I said, it's. I'm almost at a loss for words. I don't know how to say it anymore. It's like it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
21 points in this tournament. Canada has scored 33 goals by my math, and Bedard's been in on 21 of the goals.
That's insane.
Wild.
That's wild. Insane.
Where would Canada be without Bedard? I know they would have a different team, a different outlook and stuff like that, but like 21 points on 33 of Canada's goals, that's even crazier than here when he plays in Regina.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. Right. You think, okay, these guys come back.
And 3 of these games are against the top of their country. Well, they're all for the top of the country, but 2 of the games, of course, they were Germany and Austria, but against Slovakia and teams like that, and he's getting all these points and like beautiful assists. Like most of his assists are no look through 6 pairs of legs. That kind of oh man,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Right. With all the hype, Gunther and Wright coming back from the NHL, they're like, oh, these guys will be, this team's gonna be unstoppable. I mean, Wright's got 6 points, Gunther's got 7. Like, not to poo-poo their game or anything, but they're looking to Bedard to lead this team, like pretty much, right? Like
he runs the power play. Like when they're on the power play, it's him and Zellweger. Yeah, they control that puck. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, well, what would that team be without him? That'd be interesting.
And like I said, I know they would have changed things up. It would be a different set, but still. That's unbelievable.
21 points and 33 goals. That's crazy. But
beyond crazy.
So, what else you got? Like I don't have much else. I think we touched on pretty much everything I had kind of jotted down.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Just yeah, hopefully Canada can pull off a couple more W's. Well, and if they don't, hopefully Svozil on the other side will pull off a couple more W's if Canada can't. So got to give props to Svozil too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Czechs, like
they've looked good.
Their defense, man, they shoot, and I think they've got like 10 goals out from their defensemen or something. It's crazy.
Well, who's it? Him, Svozil, and who's the other D man? Like they play together. I can't think of the name, but there's been a couple plays where they've set each other up down low. Like both D men are down low, setting each other up. It's just like, oh wow, like these guys, and they've played well defensively too. It's not like they're just offensive guys.
Yeah, and Sukanik, their goalie, has 4 assists. That's 4 assists in 5 games for a goalie. And I like that. I think that's pretty funny.
That is,
it's impressive, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
he has more points than some teams' leading scorers had. It's.
Yeah, I think what you said the record was 2 goals in a tournament or 2 assists.
I think they said it was 2 assists, and he broke it in like the second game, like 3 points in 2 games or something like that. It's mind blowing.
Yeah,
but and he's a good goalie. I liked him when he made his appearance here with the Americans, but Tri-City Americans, not the Americans.
One last thing before we go, the whole Bedard thing, the mania is going crazy. Team Canada always auctions one of the jerseys that they wear. They've got 5 now. I don't know if they're wearing 5 different jerseys, but they got red, classic white, black, and then they got the new white. I don't know if they're wearing the new style red this year or not, but so you get to bid on one. You don't know what you're going to get. But Bedard's jersey this afternoon, Monday the 2nd, this afternoon, it was $11,000, which is pretty wild. They usually go for most minimum is $1,000, and higher end guys are maybe a couple thousand. But Bedard's was at 11,000, and after the game,
which is crazy
to begin with.
$11,000 for a jersey is crazy,
insane, I'd say. But now it's up to $31,500 after the game, which is
with
insane.
3 days left on the auction with $31,500. Craziness, utter craziness.
That is beyond crazy. I couldn't even imagine. Like I
That's
remember
like a car.
That is like, I know the Avalanche are auctioning some jerseys. 2 McKinnon jerseys went for $30,000, and 1 Bedard jersey.
But that's professional hockey.
I know.
Totally
that's what I'm comparing it. And you get 2.
It's just mind blowing, and there's still 3 days left.
I know. I have to keep an eye on that, right? Like,
imagine in the semifinals if he gets another 2 or 3 or 4 points and they go on to the final. I don't know where the peak is. I've never seen anything like this. Like Fantilli's is $2,200-ish. Shane Wright's is at 25. Gunther's is 20, almost 24. Stankoven's is almost 2,000. Clark and Offman, they're around $1,100-$1,300. Milic is around $1,200. Zellweger's $1,100. Norman Allen's $2,500. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, here's the screenshot. McKinnon, I know it was 2 of them. McKinnon's was $39,000 and Makar was $33,000. So I think these might have been playoff worn jerseys when they won the Stanley Cup. So Makar, I think you got 2 as well. Both sets of white in the playoff sets.
Wow.
But yeah, so you're only getting 1 Bedard jersey for the same price. Well, I guess that was American. The Avalanche was American, but
still this is a 17-year-old hockey player.
Yeah. I know.
17 and not even 17 and a half yet.
Yeah.
Or right around 17 and a half. And $31,500.
That's crazy talk. That's craziness. Like
the more power to you to pay that much money for a jersey, but holy smokes.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes.
That is craziness.
What's actually crazy is he wears size 58, a jersey. That's what it says.
I know.
You were bidding on a Connor Bedard game worn team red, white or black jersey, size 58.
I don't know if Nike is different than the CCM sizing, but I don't think he wears a 58 here for the Pats. I wouldn't think. 58's big.
58's big, but I I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I'm sure he probably wears a 56 here, but
Or 54. 'cause
maybe a 54.
56 is pretty big still too for little small hockey players. 190-pound hockey players or whatever he is. But 31.5 for a hockey jersey.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that, see where it finishes at in 3 days. That's
sure.
craziness.
For sure.
Well, if that's all you got, it's all I've got. See you at the rink on Friday.
Have a good one.
Bedard back with it. Slides in the game. Bedard talks right in. Overtime winner. This kid is out of this world.